She is impossible to define. An author, a poet, a civil rights activist, an actress, a dancer. Marguerite Johnson was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1928. When her parents divorced, she was sent with her brother to live with her grandmother in racially segregated Stamps, Arkansas.
Black people depended upon other black people for sustenance, all sorts of sustenance, social, economic, religious sustenance.
As a child, she formed a strong bond with her brother, who gave her the nickname Maya. She was taught by her grandmother to celebrate life to the fullest. She would need to keep her grandmother's positive messages handy when at age 7 she was molested by her mother's boyfriend. She only told her brother, but a few days later, the attacker turned up dead. Believing her words had killed the man,
I stopped speaking for 5.5 years. I simply refused to speak. I had voice, but I refused.
When she spoke again, she and her brother joined her mother in San Francisco. She won a scholarship to study dance and drama. While she was in San Francisco, her progressive political views began to form. At the age of 16, after quitting high school briefly to become San Francisco's first African-American cable car operator, she returned to her studies. During her senior year, she became pregnant. She gave birth to her son, Guy, and supported him working as a waitress and a cook. In 1952, she married Greek sailor Maya Angelou and traded in her waitress uniform for a microphone. She became a singer, taking the name Maya Angelou. The marriage didn't last, but her career flourished, landing a role in the stage production of Porgy and Bess and recording the album Calypso Lady in 1957. Although she had always penned lyrics and poetry, she finally began pursuing her writing more seriously. She moved to Harlem and joined the Harlem Writers Guild.
She learned how to overcome the limitations and the challenges of her youth to achieve stardom as an artist and a writer.
Her unique journey continued when she moved to Cairo, Egypt, with her then love interest, South African civil rights activist Vusumuzi Maki. She served as the editor of the English language weekly, The Arab Observer, before moving to Ghana to work as editor for the Ghanaian Times. In 1964, Angelou returned to America to help her friend Malcolm X build his organization of African American Unity. Those plans were scrapped when Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965. The assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968 left her devastated. But along with the great joys and painful lows she had experienced, her rich life served as the inspiration for her memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Published in 1970, covering the early years of her life, it was a critical and commercial triumph. In the following years, more books followed, including 4 more volumes of her autobiography.
By the 1980s and 90s, America as a whole, regardless of race, had a profound appreciation of her talents as an artist, as a poet, and writer, and so now she is widely seen as a national treasure.
In 1993, she was asked by incoming President Bill Clinton to compose a poem which she would recite at the inauguration. Since 1981, she has served as a Reynolds Professor of American Studies at Wake Forest. And she has still found time to act in films and even host a radio show on Oprah Winfrey's XM radio network.